So I'm just doing a quick update on the 66. Pretty excited today. A few things that have happened with the truck recently. So as it sat, I've had it about 10 months now, and just life got in the way. It's been sitting in the driveway. It's insured. Never got it on the road though. As it sat, had one flat tire, then had a second flat tire. So you can see the rears are still the stock wheels with some white walls, and those tires are actually in great shape. I bought a set of these, late 80s, early 90s alloys, just for roll around wheels basically, but they were super cheap, so that was a win. Went ahead and swapped. We have a yard truck, the display truck that I bought. It's rotten underneath. It's just kind of torn up, but it's going to be a donor for some great parts for this truck. It's a 64, this one's a 66 of course, so you can see the trim is wrong on the hood, but I can re-drill those holes and I'll move all the trim over. But the huge deal, apparently, these hoods that aren't all rotten, these hoods are super valuable. And basically what I paid for the truck, just the donation of the hood was worth it. So I want to get, re-drill the holes, swap the trim out, and then I'm going to start selling a few things off the other truck to help it pay for itself. But long story short is we no longer have a buckled up hood. If you can kind of see the profile, fits pretty well, pretty good. So today is an exciting day. The truck, it's running. It wasn't running for a little bit there. It's got a lot of problems with the carburetor. So it was suggested to me to just replace the carburetor. It's got an Edelbrock. It's a 750, which still causes me to think it's got a pretty warm motor in it. From if you've watched the other video with the lope and the cam, I think that's probably accurate, but it's filling up with gas. It's not idling well. Runs rough. I went ahead and did a tune-up on it. It's got new plugs. Got now new 8.5 millimeter wires that are absolutely fantastic. But I think it needs to be timed. Definitely needs a carburetor. So what I did is I've ordered some things. Got a buddy that is going to do some of the work for me. So lots of parts, thanks to Rock Auto. We got some Jegs, we got some Summit, but among them is a new Edelbrock carburetor, because, particularly when there's a deal to be had, less than 500 bucks for a new carburetor is a lot more valuable to me than the time that would take. But today's project, so it's going to go on a U-Haul trailer and go over to my buddy for some work. One of the things I'm doing this morning, the rear springs on this truck are shot. If you look at it, I don't hate the stance. I'd like to bring the nose down, but I like how it sits. But the truth of the matter is that rear end's like 4 or 5 inches lower than it should be, and the reason is because those springs are in an S shape. They are just absolutely shot. So I shopped and shopped and shopped and cross-referenced part numbers, and I ended up buying these. These are Dorman factory replacement springs. From memory, I think they were like 200 bucks for the pair. They were like next to nothing. So I got new springs for it in that Rock Auto box. 4 new shocks, 2 of whom were discontinued. They're Gabriel's. Lord knows how long the shock's been on this truck, so a huge update. But one of the things I wanted to do was take out the overload leaf, because this truck's certainly not going to do any work, and I don't want it sitting any higher in the rear. Probably going to do the drop shackles, may even do a flip kit later. But I wanted to kind of, I don't know if I'd say soften, but certainly lower it a little bit. So what I did this morning, it's like the easiest project ever. You see here, give or take, that overload is 1/2 inch of thickness, and it's a spring over design on this truck. So literally pulling that out just drops it to 1/2 inch, not to mention the stiffness that it loses, which probably helps the stance a little bit better. So as you can see, that one I've already deleted. Just wanted to share this on here. But if you haven't ever done this, this is like the easiest job ever, particularly when you're about to swap the springs. Just get a C-clamp where you're clamping all the other leaves, and then all you got to do is you need a vice grip, you need a socket wrench, right? Put the vise over here, loosen the bolt. It literally, because you've got this pack clamped together, everything stays tight. Boop, you drop the bolt out, and the beauty with new springs, of course, is nothing's rusty. It's easy, and it's a heck of a lot easier to do this now than down the road. So I figured, why not just gain the 1/2 inch? This truck's certainly not going to carry any heavy loads, although as you can see, I love that it has a metal bed, but it's, it's beat up. And guess what? This thing's going to be at Home Depot picking up things, eventually, once we trust it, and this is a good running driver, probably going to sell on the Ram, which has been an amazing truck. It's an '05 with a diesel. Might do a review on it at some point too, but it's a high output diesel. And in fact, it has towed this truck on several occasions, not to mention many other projects in our household. But the goal would be sell the Ram on because it's quite valuable and we hardly ever use it. And frankly, this is a little bit more of an interesting truck to drive to the hardware store anyway, or the parts store, or an old car show, or whatever. So stay tuned for updates. Just kind of wanted to update. I'm excited. I think within a couple of weeks, this thing's going to be on the road, and looking forward to getting it out and really using it, because people everywhere I go just love the truck. So it should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for updates, and have a great day. Thank you.